In the spotlight tonight is David Piggott from Cambridgeshire, a railway clerk. His specialist subject is Guadeloupe and its dependencies. Thomas Leeming from Lancashire, a waiter. His subject, the Moody Blues. Paul Morehouse from Bristol, a welfare rights advisor, and his subject is the life and work of Mary Anning of Lyme Regis. And Hadrian Jeffs from Norwich, a mature student, whose subject is aircraft carriers. I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. The rules never change. Each contender has 2 minutes on the subject of their choice and then another 2 minutes on general knowledge questions. At the end of the contest, we shall know who goes through to the next round and perhaps to the finals. Whoever wins takes home a glass bowl and the great honour of being known as the nation's mastermind. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
David Piggott.
Your occupation?
A railway clerk.
And your chosen subject?
The Département of Guadeloupe and its dependencies.
In 2 minutes, starting now, in which year was Guadeloupe made an overseas department of France?
1946.
Correct. Spanned by 2 bridges, what is the name of the passage of water separating the 2 islands of Basse-Terre and Grande-Terre that make up Guadeloupe?
La Rivière Salée.
Correct. Which dependency of Guadeloupe shares a land border with a territory that is an autonomous region of the Netherlands?
Saint-Martin.
Correct. In 1784, Saint-Barthélemy was ceded by the French to which of its allies in exchange for the establishment of a port of entry for French goods?
Sweden.
Correct. The dry season in Guadeloupe runs from around December to May. How is it alternatively known?
Carême.
Correct, or Lent. From which species of fan-like palm are straw baskets, handbags and hats braided and woven, which are unique to the dependencies of Saint-Barthélemy?
Pass.
Where on Grande-Terre near Pointe-à-Pitre has an industrial zone and free port been established?
La Jaille.
Correct. In 1635, Jean du Plessis d'Ossonville and which other Frenchman landed in Guadeloupe and established a colony?
Liénard de l'Olive.
Correct. Born on New Year's Day, 1972, which Guadeloupean footballer played for France in the 1998 FIFA World Cup final against Brazil?
Thierry Henry.
No, Thuram. Dating back to the days of slavery, what name is given to the style of folk music from Guadeloupe that is based on a family of hand drums?
Guaco.
Correct. The spectacular rock arch, Le Gueule Grand Gouffre, and the subterranean lake at Le Trou à Diable are located in which dependency of Guadeloupe?
Marie-Galante.
Correct. In 1794, which French revolutionary official who recaptured Guadeloupe from occupying British troops and French royalists proclaimed the abolition of slavery and had many white planters massacred?
Victor Hugo.
Correct. Which Caribbean university has one of its 3 main sites at Pointe-à-Pitre?
Pass.
Which Frenchman, the effective founder of the Basse-Terre colony, established the first sugar refineries on the island?
Perlaba.
Correct. One of the several independence movements of Guadeloupe in recent years, the Movement for Independent Guadeloupe, is known by which 4 letters?
KLNJ.
MPGI. Which is the principal river on the island of Basse-Terre?
Matuba.
Goyave. The 3 arrondissements on Guadeloupe... I've started, so I shall finish. The 3 arrondissements on Guadeloupe are in turn divided into how many communes?
Pass.
Well, I can tell you, because your time is up, it was 34. You had 2 other passes. It is 34, I should say. 2 other passes. The Caribbean University with sites at Pointe-à-Pitre is the University of the Antilles and Guyana. And the species of fan-like palm are Latana. You had those 3 passes, David Piggott. You have 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Thomas Leeming.
Your occupation?
Waiter.
And your chosen subject?
The Moody Blues.
The Moody Blues, 2 minutes starting now. What was the real name of Denny Lane, who co-founded the Moody Blues in its original lineup in 1964?
Brian Hines.
Correct. In July 1990, the band performed at the opening ceremony of which sporting event in the American state of Washington?
The Special Olympics.
The Goodwill Games. Keyboard player Patrick Moraz, who joined the band in 1978, was born in which country?
Switzerland.
Correct. What is the opening track of the Moody Blues album December that was released in 2003?
In the Bleak Midwinter.
Don't Need a Reindeer. What was the name of the Moody Blues manager who secured them a record deal with Decca in 1964 after their performances at the London Marquee Club?
Tony Secunda.
Yes. What was the first album released on the band's Threshold label after it was formed in 1969?
To Our Children's Children's Children.
Yes. I worked like a slave for years, sweat so hard just to end my fears, not to end my life a poor man. But by now I know I should have run are lyrics from which song?
Pass.
Which symphony orchestra accompanied the band on both their album and official video A Night at Red Rocks, recorded in the United States in 1992?
Denver Philharmonic.
The Colorado Symphony. Which former member of Les Garçons temporarily joined the band in 1966, playing concerts at home and abroad?
Rod Clark.
Correct. Which award for outstanding contribution to British music did the Moody Blues win in March 1985?
ASCAP.
The Ivor Novello. Which musician who was born Albert Eccles and had formerly played with the Rainbows was a member of the original Moody Blues lineup?
Clint Warwick.
Correct. On which Moody Blues album did the hit song Nights in White Satin first appear?
Days of Future Past.
Correct. Which 2001 IMAX film narrated by Liam Neeson featured a soundtrack of songs and performances by the band?
Journeys into Amazing Caves.
Correct. Which single released in October '66 failed to make the charts that year in either the United States or the United Kingdom?
Boulevard de la Madeleine.
Correct. Which song originally recorded by the American soul singer Bessie Banks was an early hit for the Moody Blues in January '65?
Go Now.
Yes. In 2000, at which British concert venue was the band presented with a platinum disc by Universal Music for sales of their album The Very Best of the Moody Blues?
The Royal Albert Hall.
The Royal Albert Hall is correct. You had only one pass there. The song we were looking for was Ride My Seesaw. One pass, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Paul Morehouse.
Your occupation?
I'm a welfare rights advisor.
And your chosen subject?
Is the life and work of Mary Anning of Lyme Regis.
In 2 minutes, starting now. Apart from his occasional dealing in fossils, what was the occupation of Mary's father, Richard Anning?
A cabinet maker.
It was. What was the name of the lord of the manor of Colway, to whom Mary's first major find, an ichthyosaurus, was sold for £23 in 1811?
Henry Host Henley.
Correct. Born in 1796, what was the name of Mary's elder brother, who particularly helped her with her first major find?
Joseph.
Correct. Which complete skeleton specimen did Mary sell to the Duke of Buckingham in 1824 for more than £100?
Plesiosaurus.
Yes. Of which disease did Mary die in March 1847?
Breast cancer.
It was. What was the name of the fossil collector who raised around £400 by arranging the sale of his collection for the relief of the Anning family?
Lieutenant Colonel Birch.
Correct. What was the name of Mary's nurse who was killed in the lightning strike of August 1800, which Mary miraculously survived?
Elizabeth Hawkins.
Haskins. What was the name of the man of the church who, with a fellow geologist, gave the scientific name plesiosaur to the specimen found by Mary in 1821?
Conybeare.
Correct. To which street in Lyme Regis did Mary move her shop in 1826 from its previous position in Bridge Street?
Broad Street.
Correct. Which fossil, sometimes known as snake stones, had the local dialect name Cornemonius at the time Mary was collecting?
Ammonites.
Correct. What was the full scientific name William Buckland originally gave to the headless pterodactyl specimen that Mary discovered in December 1828?
Pterodactylus macronix.
Correct. Which Sussex-born surgeon and geologist is quoted as saying that Mary was a prim, pedantic, vinegar-looking, thin female, shrewd and rather satirical in her conversations?
Gideon Mantell.
It was. Which two-word name was given to the sequence of shales and limestone ledges west of Lyme Regis formed in the Jurassic period, which Mary found such fertile hunting ground?
Blue Lias.
Correct. To which king's physician did Mary write in 1844, I am well known throughout the whole of Europe?
King of Saxony.
Correct. Mary was one of the first to note the origins of which fossils that have a name derived from the Greek words for dung and stone and are sometimes called bezoars?
Coprolites.
Correct. What was the surname of the three local sisters who were very friendly with Mary and who put together... She'll finish the question. And who put together a great collection of fossil fish?
The Philpotts.
The Philpott sisters it was indeed. So, one very small error there. You had no passes, 15 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Adrian Jeffs.
Your occupation?
Mature student.
And your chosen subject?
The aircraft carrier from 1912.
In 2 minutes starting now. Launched on the 24th of November 1960, what is the name of the world's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier?
Enterprise.
Correct. What was the name of the carrier launched by the Italian Navy in June 1983? Its first full-deck, air-capable ship-to-sea service.
Giuseppe Garibaldi.
It was. Which Japanese carrier was torpedoed by USS Archerfish in November 1944 on its way for final fitting out?
Shinano.
Correct. On 3rd of December 45, the Colossus-class carrier HMS Ocean became renowned for which achievement?
First landing by jet aircraft.
Correct. The Almirante Cochrane, originally built as a battleship for the Chilean Navy, was renamed what when converted to a carrier by the Royal Navy?
Eagle.
Correct. During Operation Pedestal in August 1942, Victorious, Indomitable Eagle and which other carrier escorted the relief convoy to Malta?
Furious.
Correct. Which was France's first full-deck carrier converted from a First World War dreadnought hull?
Bayonne.
Correct. Between 1920 and 22, which collier was converted to produce the USS Langley, the first American aircraft carrier?
Jupiter.
Correct. Within days of being commissioned, which carrier of the illustrious class was involved in the hunt for the Bismarck in May 41?
Victorious.
It was. The British carrier Hermes was sunk by Japanese aircraft off the coast of which island on April 9th, 42?
Ceylon.
Correct. Which carrier, CV4, commissioned in July 34, was the USA's first purpose-designed aircraft carrier?
Ranger.
It was. Converted from the passenger liner Roma, but not in time to see active service in the Second World War. Which ship was Italy's first full-deck carrier?
Aquila.
Correct. Having started life as HMS Venerable, under what name did the Dutch Navy operate the vessel which ended up as the Argentinian carrier 25th of May?
Carol Dorman.
Correct. Which Casablanca-class carrier was lost in the Battle of Leyte Gulf in October 44, the only US carrier sunk by naval gunfire in the Second World War?
Gambia Bay.
Correct. Launched in September 1941 after conversion from a merchantman, which Japanese carrier was sunk by torpedoes from the American submarine Queenfish off Kyushu in November 1944?
Pass.
In July 40, who was the commander of Force H, in which the Ark Royal took part in Operation Catapult with... Started, so I shall finish. In Operation Catapult with orders to neutralise the French fleet in North Africa?
Sir James Somerville.
It was indeed. One pass. The Japanese carrier sunk by torpedoes was the Akitsu Maru. You too, Adrian Jeffs, have 15 points. Well, that brings us to the end of our first round, the specialist subject. So let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place, with 11 points and 3 passes, David Piggott. In third place, 11 points and 1 pass, Thomas Leeming. In second place, with 15 points and 1 pass, Adrian Jeffs. In the lead, with 15 points, no passes, Paul Moorhouse. Well, high scoring. So, on to round 2 now, general knowledge, and if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account, and the contender with the fewest passes will be the winner. So, let's get on with the general knowledge round, and let's ask David Piggott to join us again, please. And I'm intrigued to see that you were a teacher. You went to Guadeloupe because you were a teacher.
Yes, I did. I did an exchange.
To Guadeloupe?
I got a hurricane, mind you, while I was there.
You did?
One of the great hurricanes of the century, but it was still good.
Hurricanes do often happen in Guadeloupe, don't they?
Yes, but they vary in their intensity and their track, and this was a particularly intense one, and it went right across the middle of the island. Others often skirt round the island and just flatten a few banana trees, which grow up again very quickly, but this one really did quite a job right across the island.
But a fascinating place to live.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And you had 11 points with Guadeloupe, so let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes. Which boxer announced his retirement as world heavyweight champion in February 2004?
Lennox Lewis.
Correct. Which New York borough was called Richmond until 1975?
Queens.
Staten Island. What is the title of the celebrated picture by W.F. Yeats set during the English Civil War and on display in the Walker Art Gallery, Liverpool?
When did you last see your father?
Correct. Which breed of cattle originating in Scotland are distinguished by their long shaggy coats and large curved horns?
Highland cattle.
Yes. Which astronomer and mathematician played a vital role in the publication of Newton's Principia Mathematica, both editing it and paying for its printing out of his own pocket?
Pass.
In 1872, Victoria Woodhull became the first woman to be nominated for which office in the United States?
Mayor.
President. What is the national airline of Poland?
Pass.
According to Robert Lowell, if we see light at the end of the tunnel, it's the light of...
A train coming in the other direction.
The oncoming train, yes. Which strait separates the North and South Islands of New Zealand?
The Cook Strait.
Yes. Which English physician working in the 17th century proved that the heart pumps blood around the body?
Harvey.
Yes. Who, as an artist, is perhaps best known for the illustrations to his own trilogy of novels, Titus Groan, Gormenghast and Titus Alone?
Mervyn Peake.
Yes. Which order of insects with 4 transparent or membranous wings includes ants, bees and wasps?
Pass.
Which butcher's son was appointed Archbishop of York in 1514, a cardinal in 1515 and Lord Chancellor of England in December of that year?
Thomas Wolsey.
Yes. Selenology is the branch of astronomy concerned with the scientific study of what?
Pass.
Which writer lived at Goldeneye in Jamaica, where he was a neighbour of Noel Coward?
Ian Fleming.
Yes, the past is a foreign country, they do things differently there, is the first line of the prologue to which novel by L.P. Hartley, first published in 1953?
The Go-Between.
Yes, which television comedy series finished when the town of Nouvion was liberated at the end of the Second World War?
Allo, allo.
Yes, which Anglo-Saxon saint became Bishop of Winchester in 852?
Swithin.
Yes, and I didn't quite begin that next question, so... You had 4 passes. Selenology is the branch of astronomy concerned with the scientific study of the moon. The order of insects we were looking for were the Hymenoptera. The national airline of Poland's easy to say, LOT, and the astronomer and mathematician was Halley. 4 passes, you had 11 points. David Piggott, you now have 23 points. And now Thomas Leeming, if he would join us, please. $11 points for the Moody Blues. Interesting group, because they never quite hit the sort of top, got to the top rung, did they? They had one, I think it was only one #1 hit.
One #1, one #2, a lot of major albums, more of an album and a concert group, I would say, than a singles group.
But the extraordinary thing about them is that they are still going strong.
They are still going strong 40 years on.
And I read that they'd sold 75 million records.
At the last count, yes. Hopefully after this recording, they'll sell a few more million.
Well, you scored 11 points with them. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes. Which relic was returned home to Scotland after spending around 700 years under the coronation chair at Westminster Abbey?
The Stone of Scone.
Correct. In which sport did the expression touche, acknowledging a hit, originate?
Fencing.
Yes. Which conductor, composer and pianist became in 1953 the first American to conduct at La Scala, Milan?
Rubinstein.
Bernstein. Which of Henry VIII's wives was accused of adultery with the young musician Mark Smeaton, as well as her own brother, Lord Rochford, before being beheaded?
Catherine Howard.
Anne Boleyn. In which classic television comedy series were operational meetings held at St Aldhelm's Church Hall?
Dad's Army.
Yes. In the play by Shakespeare, who killed Hamlet with a poisoned rapier?
Pass.
Which ornithologist, painter and broadcaster who lived from 1909 to 1989 was one of the founders of the World Wildlife Fund?
Sir Peter Scott.
Yes. What did General de Gaulle say was too serious a matter to be left to the politicians?
Politics.
He did indeed. What kind of Greek nymphs, whose name came from the words for together and tree, lived in a tree and died when the tree died?
Dryads.
No, hamadryads. Madison is the capital of which American state?
Wisconsin.
Yes. Which shrub takes its name from the Greek words for rose and tree?
Rhododendron.
Yes. Who was moved from her post as International Development Secretary to succeed Lord Williams of Mostyn as Leader of the House of Lords in October 2003?
Claire Short.
Lady Amos. Which sea was known as the German Sea until the early 20th century?
The Baltic.
The North Sea. Which Italian white wine from the Marca region comes in characteristic amphora-shaped bottles?
Chianti.
Verdicchio. On BBC Radio, to what did the Home Service change its name on the 30th of September 1967?
Radio 4.
Yes. Which faith bounded to the 19th century by Bauhala and based on the sacred writings of him and his son Abdul Baha aims to unite the teachings of other prophets from Buddha to Christ?
Pass.
And your time is up. The 2 passes. That last question, the answer was the Baha'i faith, and it was Laertes who killed Hamlet with a poisoned rapier. Those 2 passes, you had 11 points. You now, Thomas Leeming, have 19 points. And now Hadrian Jeffs, if he'd join us, please. You know a great deal about aircraft carriers. I was not quite clear about this, when was the first one, the very first aircraft carrier?
The first warship designated to carry aircraft was a French warship called the Foudre, which was a seaplane carrier in 1912.
But that wasn't what we would recognise as anything like an aircraft carrier.
Certainly the first pure aircraft carrier would have been HMS Argus in 1918. But HMS Furious had carried aircraft and launched them off a flight deck during the First World War, but she couldn't land them back on again. They tried with fatal consequences. There was too much turbulence around the superstructure.
Right. Well, you did extraordinarily well. 15 points on aircraft carriers. A dead heat with our next contender, who's going to be sitting in that chair. So, let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes. Which John Steinbeck novel, published in 1937, has as its title a four-word phrase taken from a Robert Burns poem?
Grapes of Wrath?
Of Mice and Men. In Spitting Image, former Prime Minister John Major was portrayed as a grey man with an obsession for eating which vegetables?
Radishes?
Peas. What was the name of the group of anarchists who made a series of bomb attacks on establishment targets in the UK in the late 60s and early 70s, including the home of the Employment Secretary Robert Carr?
Angry Brigade?
Yes, in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, what's the name of the hunter constantly in pursuit of that wabbit?
Elmer P. Fudd?
Yes. Which English university city gives its name to a reform movement within the Church of England that began in 1833?
Oxford?
Yes. In Greek mythology, which island in the Cyclades is known as the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis?
Crete?
Delos. Differential and integral are the two major forms of which branch of mathematics?
Algebra?
Calculus. Which mammalian organ is made up from tubular units called nephrons?
Pass.
The theme music for which television drama series of the 70s came from Khachaturian's ballet Spartacus?
The Oneidin Line?
Yes. What is the more common name for the sugar also known as dextrose or grape sugar?
Pass.
In gaps on which wall in Jerusalem do visiting Jews leave folded prayers?
Wailing Wall?
Yes. The flag of which Italian island features a red cross on a white background with four Moors' heads, one in each corner?
Sicily?
Sardinia. In which district of southwest London has Nigel Williams set several comic novels?
Pass.
In which military march was composed in 1914 by F.J. Ricketts under the name Kenneth J. Alford, supposedly named after someone with whom he had played golf?
Colonel Bogey?
Correct. What design was featured on the reverse of the 50-pence coin celebrating Britain's entry into the common market?
A set of interconnecting hands?
Yes, clasped hands. Nassau is the capital of which West Indian islands?
The Bahamas?
Correct. What is the distance of the longest individual swimming event for men at the Olympics?
800 metres?
1,500 metres. What is the full name of the I've started, so I shall finish. What is the full name of the educational body known as the QCA?
The Quality and Curriculum?
No, I'll stop you there. You've got it wrong already. Qualifications and Curriculum Authority. Now, you had 3 passes. It's Wimbledon, where Nigel Williams set his comic novels. Glucose was the sugar we were looking for. And the mammalian organ is the kidney. 3 passes. You had 15 points. Hadrian Jeffs, you now have 23 points. And now, Paul Morehouse, please. You obviously know an enormous amount about a lady whom many people, I suspect, had never even heard of.
Yes, I think she's quite fascinating precisely because she was a working class woman at the start of the 19th century who made an enormous contribution to science at a stage when it was very much under the control of rich, well-heeled men. Members of the church in particular. Is it possible to say that Mary Anning was partly responsible anyway for the fact that we now have the word dinosaur in our vocabulary? Certainly her discoveries were. I think the term dinosaur was coined by Richard Owen, but her discoveries certainly played a big role in shaping people's understanding of the world of the giant lizards. Although dinosaurs is normally used to refer to land-based animals, and most of the things that she discovered were sea-living creatures.
Well, you got 15 points and you have 23 to beat. So let's see if you can do that in the next 2 minutes with general knowledge. By what Tibetan name is the abominable snowman sometimes known?
The Yeti.
Correct. The title character of an opera by Verdi, Simon Boccanegra, was the first doge of which city?
Venice.
Genoa. The name of which troublesome pest comes from the Spanish word cucaracha?
Colorado beetle.
The cockroach. Which capital city was known as Hansong until 1910, then Gyeongsang under the Japanese, its current name meaning capital city in its native language?
Kyoto.
Seoul. Tobermory is the principal town on which Hebridean island?
Harris.
Mull. How is the 2000 Technics Mercury Music Prize winner Damon Gough better known?
Eminem.
Badly Drawn Boy. Who in July 2000 became the first sisters to win the Wimbledon doubles title?
Williams. Venus and...
I'll accept that. What is the trade name of the drug sildenafil citrate, which began life as a heart medication designed to treat angina by increasing blood flow to the heart?
Viagra.
Correct. Who was the owner of the steeplechase of Devon Loch, which stumbled on the final straight when leading the 1956 Grand National?
The Queen Mother.
Yes. Which group of British painters took their name from the part of London made popular as a subject by Walter Sickert?
Camden School.
Correct. In Greek legend, which king of Cyprus fell in love with an ivory statue of his ideal woman, which the goddess Aphrodite brought to life?
Pygmalion.
Yes. Becky Sharp and Amelia Sedley are the main female characters of which William Thackeray novel?
Vanity Fair.
Correct. Which oily liquid obtained from coal tar is used as a wood preservative?
Creosote.
Correct. The tune of Mendelssohn's Festgesang No. 2, composed in honour of Gutenberg's invitation of printing, has been used for which carol since the mid-1850s?
Silent Night.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Cape Farewell on Egger Island is the southernmost part of which country?
Australia.
It's Greenland. Well, it does not get closer than that. 3 people with 23 points, but, Paul Morehouse, you had no passes. So, at the end of that nail-biter of a round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place, with 19 points, is Thomas Leeming. In 3rd place, with 23 points and 7 passes, David Piggott. In 2nd place, with 23 points and 4 passes, Hadrian Jeffs. But, of course, in 1st place, with 23 points and no passes, Paul Morehouse. Which means that Paul Morehouse goes through to the next round and moves a step closer to becoming our Mastermind champion. Congratulations to him. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Locals go ape with the planners when a zoo puts in an application to expand. Tonight at 8 on BBC Two. The nation's heritage and the heroes are fighting to save it. Up next this afternoon.